Farewell, Savusavu. Hello, New Zealand. What have I got? 17 knots. Not really bumpy, but the swells are pretty close together. Almost white caps. Yeah, we're humming along. 7.2 speed over ground. Going to be staying on this tack for quite a while, probably at least for a couple of days until I get down to the sort of around the bottom of Fiji, and then it comes around up my arse a little bit, and then I'll be back hopefully on a starboard tack back to New Zealand, but time will tell. Yeah, this is going to be my view for a few days. I'll hook the wind vane up shortly. Catch up again a bit later. This is just absolutely lovely. Heaps of sun. I suppose it's probably about, I don't know, 20% cloud cover. So we'll just carry on. I've got all my appropriate safety gear on. I'll leave the cockpit during the day. I'll clip in, and at night I'll stay clipped into the cockpit. Don't know how well that's going to show up. It's going to go all bloody bananas, but you get the idea. Anyway, over and out. And so starts the first night of the passage, cruising along nicely. 6 knots and about 40 apparent. And what do we got? 15, sort of, it's dropping now to between 13 and 15 knots, which is a bit of an ask because we're sort of like heading into the seaway and it's slowing the boat up a little bit, but never mind. Had myself a feed. I'm just about going to make myself a hot drink, and everything looks all pretty sweet for the night. So yeah, over and out. 4:30 Sunday morning, pretty cruisy night really. Got woken up, shit flying around in the boat. Managed to reef the Genoa in a little bit, ease the main right out, settled things down a bit. Since I left Savusavu, average speed 6.6 knots over ground, so pretty happy with that. Yeah, at the moment we're sort of cruising along 6.5. Probably about a 30% cloud cover, so hopefully when the sun comes up it'll be a nice day. Sea's a bit lumpy. Good, I managed to catch a couple of naps for half an hour each time, so feel pretty good. So I'm just like about 2 hours from coming around the point in Cadaver Island, and then once I get there I'm going to hook around and try and get some west into the course, and then yeah, it's going to be very, very light. Everything is settled right down, pretty flat sea, just a slight swell going through. Beautiful. Unfortunately there's no wind. Well, very little wind. Anyway, it's going to be quiet tonight. It has been a magnificent day. Very nice. Alrighty, it's now 6:30. And we're going along just nicely. The sea's still pretty flat. There's probably only about half a metre swell at the moment. We're skating along at 6.5 speed over ground. It's showing about 6.5 boat speed, and that's we're sort of averaging about 15 knots at the moment and keeping it at about 55 apparent wind. Yeah, she's just absolutely loving it. I'm looking forward to today. I think should be pretty cool. There's Jerry the wind vane back there doing its job. Awesome. The weather forecast was for 30 knot winds and 3.5 metre seas, so I decided to get the boat all ready and wait and see what happens. So that's why I've got the 2 reefs in the main and quite a decent reef in the Genoa. So yeah, see how we go. It looks pretty good up ahead there, where the weather's coming from. There's no wicked squalls or anything by the look of it, so that's all good. But yeah, you can see the wind's fair whippling across. You see there's some good swells building up. We'll see how it all goes during the day, but I'm pretty confident in the boat. Everything's stowed away. Yeah, let's have a good day. And the trusty old Crocs, eh? The best things I never bought for the boat. So what's it like inside Geelong, you ask? Well, here comes the guided tour. We've got the galley, cupboards under there, 2 sinks, just excuse the dishes, hand pump and a 12-volt pump for the water. We only have cold water. Down in here we've got our chest freezer, which I'm not running at the moment. Up over there there's all our plates, etc. Now we've just got a standard sort of marine gimbal stove there, and then again we've got storage in those cupboards there, and that goes right down to the hull of the boat, so you can get a shitload of stuff in there. Got a knife drawer in there, and in this cupboard we've got some slide out shelves with cups and odds and ends up there. Control panel for the Lombardini engine, which that is just tucked away in there, and that's it, 40 horsepower. Yeah, we got a compressor driven freezer, and I didn't really fancy using the engine as that much just for keep the freezer cold just for me, so I'm doing it tough on canned and dried goods. And over on this side here I've got one of the old squabs in there to lean up against because of it's the lee side, so that's where we sleep, or where I'm sleeping at the moment. And then into the chart area, got 2 VHF radios, switchboard there, pretty standard stuff, single sideband. We've got a Garmin, which is just a backup for our B&G system, and then we have our Iridium Go satellite communications just hanging up there. Yeah, so we've got a drawer for bits and pieces. I won't lift the chart table up, that's like a bloody disaster area in there, but that's full of the charts. Down in there we have just a standard fridge, which is also run off the compressor. The salon's pretty straightforward really. Put the outboard down, wedged it in around by the table there and tied it in securely. Try and get some of the weight into the middle of the boat. Got a 100 litre diesel tank under here, storage under that one, and there's a 100 litre water tank across under that squab, 200 litre tanks underneath that squab, and underneath those containers, access through behind those squabs is it's also storage that goes down to the hull of the boat. So there is quite a bit of storage, so it's all good. And one good thing about Shillong too is that there's the handholds are easy to get to get backwards and forwards through the boat. Yeah, just a standard radio there, which you can also listen to channel 16 on, which is handy. Set of drawers there. She's got a keel stepped mast. Up in the forward area here, we've got a wardrobe. That's just where we hang just our normal our flash street clothes. And in behind here we have a set of drawers, which obviously we keep our clothes we're not wearing in. And then right behind it there we've got our head. Now that's pretty basic. You just got a little sink there. That rose pulls out and clips up there if you want to turn this area into a shower. It's got like a little bilge pump there to drain it out. It's the bog standard toilet, and if you're wondering why there's a bag of toilet paper there, we have a rule on the boat that if it doesn't go down your head, it doesn't go in our head. So that's what that's all about. Got a little Rain Man water maker. That's been pretty cool. You don't have to chase around after water. And yeah, storage area up here. I've already got the storm jib up the front, the trysail's just like there, nice and handy. Got our fishing rods hooked up there, spare life jackets, wet weather gear, and a big box of books. You do tend to look at, read a lot of books while you're in anchorages. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the inside of the boat. Yeah, there's certainly nothing flash about it, but she does sail well. Built in 86, double diagonal carry plank, you know, strong as, not like some of these flexible fiberglass ones, but we'll leave that there. Yeah, and up there we've got our handheld radio, our EPIRB, and a couple of PLBs. And yeah, so out in the cockpit, again, pretty straightforward. You've got a cockpit locker there, which we've got our life raft in, and there's another locker on the very corner there. We've just got a couple of spare water bottles in there. At the very back, there's also a locker on port and starboard there for gas bottles. Carry 3 4.5 kg gas bottles, so that gives us plenty of range. Up in the cockpit here, it's all pretty straightforward. I mean, everything's well used. Like I say, the boat was built in 86. She's done a few miles. Yeah, so we've got a row of jammers over there, which are like for the reefing lines and the Genoa halyards. And on this side, we've got our spinnaker downhaul, topping lift, etc. Main halyard. The list goes on, really. Topping lift, etc. Outhaul, Cunningham. So that's all easy to access. If you've got to put a reef in the main, it's got to go out up on deck to put the ring on the ram saw, and that's the only reason. But I've marked on the main sheet how far to let it out, so I can just pop up on deck, let it out to that mark, throw the eye over the ram's horn, and she's back in, get back in here and get the main back up and reefing lines in. As you can see, there's 2 reefs in the main at the moment. The wind's been blowing probably a steady 18 to 20 knots all day. So yeah, I'm glad I did that. And there's not a lot of Genoa, you're probably not going to hear very well. There's not a lot of Genoa out as well. Our tender, that's deflated and well strapped down onto the cabin deck. I don't know if you can see it, but I have put the storm jib, hanged the storm jib on so that it's ready to go up without too much sticking around. Yeah, I'm going to get wet here if I'm not careful, aren't I? So yeah, and we've got another 100 litres of diesel up on the deck in those containers, and one of just normal 91 for the outboard. So we've got about 450 mile range of motoring, so try not to, obviously. So that's it, that's our little boat that could. And last but not least, the wind vane on the back there. She does probably 90% of our steering. Really cool little cool item to have on your boat. If the wind drops below 10 knots, forget about it. That's when you need your autopilot. Yeah, she's very, very cool. Yeah, and up here we've also got an old solar panel there, which is due for replacement, and we've got these two flexible ones here glued to the roof, which provide probably 80% of our power source. So we're pretty minimalist when it comes to how much power we've got to throw away, so we're pretty careful with it. Don't know if you can see Henry the bear down there. He's done over 30,000 nautical miles now. Tough little fella he is. Never heard him cry. Never argues back. And yeah, what more can you ask for, really? So that's Geelong, our cool little boat. Just a shame Judy was unable to make this passage with me due to health reasons. Just been really lucky that she's behind me 100% to do this trip solo, so I'm making the most of it. Anyway, over and out. Well, thanks for watching, guys. If you catch up with the next episode, you'll see how I managed to drive the boat while I was asleep and head back to Fiji for a short while, and plus the rest of my trip to New Zealand. So yeah, it would be really cool if you watch that one as well. Thank you.